Okay, so last time we left off, they're starting to get into the trial. The key witness is sick, but they didn't brought her into the courtroom in a bed so she can, you know, kind of identify what she heard, tell her story in the official court of law. Miss Hall, she's got her high-powered defense team that's trying to discredit the witness. Yeah, so here we go. And Miss, what they call her, the pig lady, the key witness right here, she's alleging that she woke up in the middle of the night and saw the Reverend and Miss Mills together in the field, but she woke up to shouting and she identified Miss Hall out there with somebody else, at least another person. And so she said she heard, ring out. She heard some hits ring out. And when I say hits, I'm talking about a piece. She heard some sounds ring out as a weapon. And Reverend Hall was the first one to go. Down, like I thought. And then Miss Mills was the second one to go down.
In a hospital bed. Her account drew significant attention. However, the prosecution struggled to establish her as a reliable witness. Her statements were full of inconsistencies, and her descriptions of the events that had happened on the evening of the 14th of September 1922 had changed multiple times. This, along with her eccentric personality, made her a target for ridicule by the defence and the press. There were credible witnesses, such as one man who testified that he had seen Henry Stevens near the crab apple tree on the day of the murder. However, his delayed disclosure of this evidence, coming many months after the murder, allowed the defence to undermine its significance. Intriguingly,
well, this is what I'm saying. This is why you get caught, because if you're talking about her behavior was eccentric, because the point is that we have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And so if her behavior is eccentric, well, she's sick. You know what I mean? Like she's gonna, depending on how sick she is, she's gonna act in a certain way, right? And that might not be normal. That might not be regular. But also too, if she's acting eccentric, because then they might be calling it eccentric. But if she's acting that way because maybe she's on some sort of spectrum or something like that, then they might be trying to discredit her that way.
A fingerprint belonging to William Stevens was found on the business card that had been placed at Edward Wheeler Hall's feet. The defence, however, argued that the compromised crime scene had meant that the card had likely been handled by many people, thus once again diminishing its significance. Ultimately, the evidence remained circumstantial, enabling the defence to effectively highlight the lack of direct proof linking their clients to the crime. The trial ended on the 3rd of December 1926, and the jury found all three defendants not guilty, a verdict that only deepened the mystery and the public's fascination with the case. Following the trial, Mrs. Frances Stevens Hall attempted to resume a normal life, but the stigma of the case lingered.
Yeah. She don't play no games. And I gotta ask, Reverend Hall. I do gotta ask if he had ulterior motives for marrying her. I gotta ask that. I gotta be for real. Because she does look older. And if that's the case, then you immediately start messing with other women, then you did possibly marry me for ulterior motives, and now you're playing in my face.
She remained in New Brunswick and continued to live in the house she had once shared with Edward. She passed away in 1942, never having remarried or publicly discussing the case again. Over the decades, numerous theories have emerged about the motivations and identities of those responsible for this most horrible crime. The most straightforward theory suggests the murder driven by jealousy and a desire to preserve family honour, with Mrs. Frances Stephen Hall humiliated by her husband's affair, possibly enlisting her brothers to kill Edward and Eleanor. Another theory suggests a robbery gone wrong, with Edward and Eleanor shot after being discovered by robbers. However, the lack of missing valuables and the ritualistic display of the bodies weakens this argument. Some have speculated that a spurned lover might have committed the murder in a fit of rage, but this theory lacks substantial evidence and is largely conjectural. A more complex theory involves a broader conspiracy, potentially involving influential individuals in New Brunswick. Proponents of this theory argue that the investigation was deliberately mishandled to protect certain parties from exposure.
Yep.
This is highlighted by the numerous procedural errors and inconsistencies in the investigation, which may suggest a possible cover-up. Advances in forensic science and legal standards have led to renewed interest in the Hall Mills case. Modern forensic techniques, such as DNA analysis and advanced ballistic testing, could potentially shed new light on the case. However, the contamination and loss of evidence from the original investigation pose significant challenges. The case remains one of the most intriguing unsolved mysteries in American criminal history. The combination of scandal, social intrigue, and gruesome violence captivated the public and left an indelible mark on the cultural landscape. Despite numerous theories and extensive investigation, the true perpetrators of the murder have never been definitively identified, and although many believe that Mrs. Frances Stevens Hall and her brothers William and Henry got away with murder, the case is still somewhat shrouded in mystery. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for listening. As usual, please leave any comments or feedback you may have, and I hope to see you all again in the next brief case.
Ain't nobody fooled by what y'all got going on. We already know who did it. Man, let me know what you think. Comment, like, share, subscribe. You know the deal. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Where were you leaning before we even got rolling? Who are you leaning toward? What did you think? And then in the middle of when we got rolling, what did you think then? And then closer to the end, did that meet up or with your expectations earlier? Let me know. But that's the video. Until next time, take it easy.